First, I actually want to start by thanking Chancellor Gallagher and staff. I see Charlie McLaughlin here. We had a transportation hearing, and you were so gracious to provide Alumni Hall several weeks ago, and had a hearing on electronic vehicles and the emerging technology and how we can grapple with that emerging industry. And I also want to thank President Benaputi and I see Mike Steffen there for your graciousness in hosting and being able to attend the airport out in Center County to see what's going on there with respect to autonomous vehicles and the testing track, and likewise with Pitt being all in, which kind of leads me to my question. When we talk about return on investment, when we talk about job creation, when we talk about economic development, these are some industries that maybe it gets, I don't know if it gets overlooked, but this emerging industry, I'll specifically say with autonomous vehicles, and what you're doing at Penn State, what you're doing at Pitt, being all in at Hazelwood Green, and having had the opportunity to take the Transportation Committee there as well to see the world-class work that's being done. Can you maybe talk a little bit about what that means to the Commonwealth as we invest in these universities, how that comes back as a return on investment in those industries, whether not through job creation, but also just through your ability to provide support to some of those businesses, maybe in an ancillary capacity?
So Senator Langerholc, first of all, thank you, and we're okay if all of your hearings are done on Pitt's campus, so that offer's open anytime. Look, I think that the role of universities in emerging and high growth sectors is unique, and that's one of the reasons these are such powerful assets to have within your borders. So it really plays out in several ways. In an emerging area, the trick from a policy perspective is you're looking at economic activity that isn't there yet. So when you look at the emerging autonomous vehicle or big data, robotics, clearly high growth, but they start from a small number and go to a big number. And so the kind of capital investment is high risk. The state has a big role in setting a lot of the conditions to lower the risk for investors and make sure that this is the place where those investments take hold. And one of those is that the brain power, the knowledge, the research to leverage the kinds of people these companies want to have as they begin to grow are available here. And I think that's where Pennsylvania's got a very strong hand, and where a closer coupling between the priorities of the state in terms of business attraction and growth line up with what we're trying to do in our research and faculty so that our university strengths line up. The other form of emerging activity, though, is actually with existing companies. If you look at the patent generation of existing companies here, again, there's no company that's trying to sit on the IP that they had 20 years ago. They're also innovating, and they're large R&D performers themselves. So in this case, instead of the ideas coming out of the university, it comes out of partnerships. And that's where these public-private partnerships and working in concert with these knowledge-intensive employers who have large R&D work and making sure that they harness and can use the universities. And in those ways, what you're doing basically is driving growth. And you're doing it both for the companies themselves, but it's always important to remember it's the entire supply chain and ecosystem that comes along with them. There's the old adage, you bring in a company and the Walmarts will follow, but the reverse is not true, right? So the amplification and multiplier effect you get from these kind of activities is some of the largest that are there.
I think that was well said, and I'm looking at the time. Senator, thank you. Thank you for everything that you are doing to recognize that for the Commonwealth to be competitive, we need to be looking not just at the technologies of yesterday, but at the technologies of tomorrow. And this is where the investment in higher education pays off, because what we are doing with research truly does drive industry to come to us. I'm very proud that we are the land-grant university. We are unabashedly in favor of economic development. That's why we were created. So we are trying to be nimble on our part. We're trying to cut down the red tape, make it easier for people to partner, and the policies that you are pursuing help us. So one of the things that helps too is the breadth of our university. Because when we talk about autonomous vehicles, it might seem like it's one discipline or one area. It's not. You really need to pull expertise from a variety of areas. And the reality of higher education is I can't believe I'm using this analogy, but a degree is like you're driving off a car, immediately its value drops because there's something new being created every day. And that's why industry wants to partner with us, because faculty, staff are not resting on their laurels, but they're creating the technologies of tomorrow. We are all about it. We are ready to partner, and that's how we will make the Commonwealth stronger.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.